today is. All right, let's get housekeeping out of the way. It is Monday, December 23rd. This is BWB training, HUD training, and we're going to continue on section 3, the broker price opinion, and finish it up. And we'll probably move on to marketing photos and anything else that we can squeeze in. All right, who do we have here? Okay. All right, let's pick up where we last left off. And sorry, guys, I'm trying to get organized. I literally just walked in the door, literally logged in.
And how's it doing? Are you all ready for the holiday? Is everybody good?
Tomorrow's going to be a long day. Let's just put it that way.
Yes, it is.
Well, anyway, happy holidays if you're into that kind of stuff. I know we only got a couple of days, but I just wanted to say that.
Oh, yeah. I say Merry Christmas. So, you know.
Well, hey, you know. It's Hanukkah too.
Okay. Where we left off, we were talking about entering the comps into the broker price opinion, and the comps. Did you all by chance, and it wasn't required, but did you all get a chance to listen to Tina and I's back and forth on the BPO and how to do adjustments and things? By chance, did any of you get a chance to listen to that?
I looked at it while I was doing my BPO
Okay.
for this last assignment. So
Mhm.
just to make sure that my figures were close to what everybody else was doing.
Okay. Well, there is a strategy. Well, Carl, I know you've done plenty of BPOs, so I understand that. You understand. It depends on what they want. Okay. When you do a broker price opinion, let me just say this. When you do a BPO, all right, it depends on who your client is. All right. If you are doing BPOs for these mills, we call them mills, BPO mills. All right. Gosh, I don't even know. Clear Capital's one, AVM's one, a couple others out there still. Anyway, they are wanting you to get the highest price that you can get. That's their goal. And they will send it back to you if you don't get the price they want, and they'll ask you to review it. And sometimes they'll even send you comps saying, hey, did you consider this comp, whatever. So you need to know who your client is, know your client, what they're looking for. I typically, once I come to a value and I'm firm on it, I'm done. Don't ask me to look at anything. But on a HUD property or an REO property, these are different beasts altogether. Okay. You want to treat the client fairly. You want to bring an opinion of value that you feel comfortable saying, in this condition, this is what the value of this property right now is. Okay. And HUD, being FHA, they can do, it's their property. They own that property. When it gets conveyed to them, because the deed goes to them, the bank forecloses, the deed gets sent to them, the bank gets their money, and then HUD has it. So now, HUD, obviously, they target home ownership, owner occupants. That's their goal. They want an end user to buy that property, live in it, and go on. That's their goal, and that's what they're trying to achieve. And that's why they do the 203B with the extra 10K in escrow. That's the HUD-owned property is the only time you'll see that. Otherwise, you got to go 203 streamline. Okay, if you're going to do repairs on an FHA to get it to FHA but insurable status. So that's their goal. And we want to give them as fair of a price as we think the current market, the snapshot in time, that's the BPO, of what that market value is. Okay, so we as REO people have a tendency, we want to beat the hell out of it on price because we want to get it listed and sold as fast as possible. And that's our nature. Now, regular traditional agents don't. They want to, I get the difference. But we still need to come in and give it a fair market value. We want to beat the hell out of it. And that's why when I say on my BPOs, and I think you've heard this already, is FHA, it has carpet. It's dirty, it's soiled, but it's not stinky or anything. It's functional per se. You might be able to clean it with a steam cleaner. All right. But we know that that homeowner, if they buy it, they're going to replace the carpet, they're going to paint the house, they might be do some updating and that sort of thing. And then when I make that statement in the BPO that I know this is FHA insurable, the carpet, whatever, blah, 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 but the end user is going to replace these things. So I'm going to give you a value, what I think it's really worth, but keep in mind that just because FHA, can we speak? FHA will insure it. It doesn't mean the homeowner is going to accept it. Okay, does that make sense? You get that? Because I know Carl, REO, Jordan, I think you got REO too, right? Okay. I don't think anybody else has true REO experience. So I want you to understand the difference and what your client is looking for. Okay. Just sorry, I go on and on. Anyway, so when you go in and do your data and your adjustments and stuff, just keep that in mind that look at your comps. You know this is a $400,000 house. You've got a $275,000 home. You're going to beat that better home up and bring those prices down to where it fits pretty much what you're thinking. So that's when I talk about making those adjustments in the 100 to 200, that's what we were working on. 100 to 200 range, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, etc. All right, then you need to make your adjustments according to the price range. Like when we were Tina, we were going back and forth. What should we adjust? The adjustment is the value in the repairs that you think that it needs. In the back of your mind, when you make those adjustments, say $7,500, okay, on whatever the condition, and it's two values up to 15,000. Well, that's in the $100,000 to $200,000 price range. What are you going to do when the home is 250 to 3 or 350 or what that? And you're going to see that. Okay, I've got $1 million REOs before. They're few and far between, but occasionally they come through. Now HUD, you'll never see one ever because FHA loan limits and so on and so forth. Okay, but you're still. I had a 751 here 2 years ago or something like that. So not, it was fine. Anyway, just keep that in mind when you're doing your adjustments. When we talked about the 7,500, if that home was 250, I'd probably bump that up to 12.5, maybe 15 per jump, just simply because of what it is in that
Right.
price range. No matter if it's beat up or not, it's going to bring 250 at a minimum, no matter what. Okay,
Right.
make sense? Okay. I get to rambling, so keep me back on course. On your BPO, the marketing strategy for HUD is always 100% of the time as is. Okay. And I think I mentioned last time that when you make your adjustments and don't ever put a value in, make all your adjustments, get your BPO completed, and then at that point, between the sold comps, your opinion of value must fall within that range for HUD. All right. Maybe other REO companies let you, because it's beat up or whatever the reason, they might let you deviate from that. But HUD, it has to fall within that range. Okay. When you make your comments, it's the story. I call it the story about the property. The first thing is Tina, and we're going to do this tonight. The first thing I want you to do is mention about your comps. If it's a cookie cutter neighborhood, everything was pulled out of that cookie cutter neighborhood. There's not much comment about the comps that you need to make. Okay. And I think I said last time that you can do anything with a broker price opinion as long as you can justify it and explain it. So that's part of the story, especially on comps. Okay. So, you want to point out the positives, the negatives. If it's in a good location, or a good school district, if it's a 7, 8, 9, 10 school district, that's a good school district. It's desired. A lot of people in my area. I live in Franklin Township, very desired school district. Decatur's not so much. IPS, Center Township isn't. No. And others. I think, who cares? Warren Township's a good one as well. So you know your areas of town. You know what's good. You know what's bad. Okay, so make those comments. Great school system, desired area, or bad school system, and do not ever make. And you've been trained about your comments in the public remarks, but do not. I mention police activity. Okay. Especially if it's in an area where there's high crime. I mentioned that this is in a higher crime area according to IMPD statistics, and I put the link in the BPO if they want to go check it out. Okay, you can say that. Okay, and you're going to get some like that. Okay, I had one in Chicago that it was a little condo. It was only like about 40,000 or something like that, or a townhouse, I should say. And I went to the property, initial inspection, right next door, a little black lady came out and said, "Hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah." And, introduced ourselves and chatted. And she goes, "I'm glad you're here at this time of day because at 12 o'clock on, I don't think you should be here. This is a corner and a lot of the drug guys hang out here and stuff." And I was a white guy, okay, predominant black area and drug area and the whole 9 yards. And she was very nice. She was very friendly and would just, "Hey, FYI, you know,
Mm.
and I was there at 10 o'clock in the morning. So, those areas, those areas of your town. Okay. And occasionally you'll get something in those areas. And I always put that caveat in there, but you can go to your local place or your local area and get the crime stats for that particular location. Okay. Or don't mention it at all, but I always do because I want them to know, hey, we're gonna have a little harder time selling this one. Okay. But always put the crime statistics with it. And if you want to write it out, write it out. I just put the link in there. Okay. Okay. When you get into your photos, we get a separate BPO photo addendum. Tina, do you have yours up, your account up by chance?
I have my BPO up and I can get it up.
If you don't mind, I thought you might already be there.
I did, and then I closed it. So let me
No,
just,
it's no problem. I can bring it up. It's no big deal.
I got it. I'm on it, Todd. I got it up. You want me to share my screen?
Yeah, share your screen. So when the broker price opinion or all the tasks come in for an initial assignment, Carl just had one. Tina's been fortunate enough to have three.
Yes. It's been a busy week.
But I tell you what, I don't know how you got three simply because um, everybody else, your state only has 4 active listings.
Wow. And I have 3 of them.
Well, no. Active, meaning that somebody has them, then they're listed for sale.
Oh,
It's
the active. Okay.
yeah, preliminary. It doesn't show on HUD's website, and then once a bid gets accepted, it disappears. But I'm just saying, there's not a lot of activity in your area. That's why I'm surprised. So
Yeah.
anyway,
There.
go ahead. Would you say?
Nothing.
Oh, okay. Anyway,
I'm listening.
this is one of the tasks. You got your BPO, and that's done in a manual form. You've seen that. And then the BPO photo addendum, okay, is this right here. Launch the tool, and you got to put in the subject front. You don't have to put all the photos in. This is the BPO. You've already turned in all of those photos from your initial inspection on the PIR. Okay, so you put in all your sold comps and label them. You didn't label them yet.
No, because they're labeled in the image, but yes, I will label them.
Okay, you do.
904, I basically say the same thing that I say
Just
in the
put sold
photo.
comp 1, sold comp 2, girl.
Yes.
You do it any way you want. I don't care. Okay, but this is the part you will do this inside the system. Okay, but the broker price opinion is what I showed you last week, and it's the basic blank form, fill in the blanks type stuff, and go from there.
And the way that I have mine labeled is the way that Todd taught me to do it. And I use the numeric value of the street address. So for instance, this one, it says 304 active comp 2. It's because the house number is 304 and like Country Club Road. So I just say 304 active comp 2. So the AM knows that this is the front photo for that comp. And after I put the information in, I save it. Even if I don't submit it, I save it. So that way, just like I did with you all, I was able to log in and access, and what I had done was already still here. So I just go in and finish what I have left. And I still need to upload an image of the subject property, and then the BPO photo addendum will be done.
Okay. All right. Let's get to your broker price opinion now. But this is
Okay.
the BPO. All three
Yep.
are all 6 comps properly labeled, and a photo of the front subject property. And date stamps are fine on that. It's no big deal. That's whatever.
Yeah. So, and that's what I usually do. I go in to add images, and then I've got these labeled by the case. So I go in and I use BPO photos and PIR photos separate. So I go into the PIR photos to get a photo of the subject property to upload it into the BPO photo file or photo addendum.
Where's your front? Should probably
Yeah.
where's the top, huh? Oh, there it is, right there. Third one.
Oh, right there. Okay. I'm blind right now. Okay. And so then it'll upload, and mine usually ends up being the last photo just because of the order I load them. But you can arrange them however you want. It's almost finished. So see how this is red? It's because I haven't tagged it. As soon as I tag it, it turns green. It will not let you upload your photos until they're all tagged. And I'm just saying subject property front. And then I've made changes, so I save it. And then once we go through the BPO, I submit them both at the same time. So that way they are together.
Okay. And keep in mind, during my vacation, Tina, how long did we spend together over my vacation? About 7, 8, 9 hours.
A lot of time. Todd was amazing. He was on vacation, and anytime I had questions, he answered my questions. There were several times we got on through Zoom and did like we're doing now. And I would share my screen and he would literally walk me through whatever I needed. And it helped because the one today that I worked on, I mostly did by myself. So that was really cool. But I still had questions because this one is more rural and it didn't have, none of the homes look the same. It's not a cookie cutter neighborhood. So none of the homes look the same. They're varying ages and sizes. So finding comps was more difficult.
Okay, well, let's look at your BPO. Let's bring
Okay.
it up. You have entered all the comp data in, right?
I have entered all the comp data in. I had some questions about some of them, but I thought that might be good for the others to hear and listen in on.
Okay.
So when they go to do theirs, if they have a similar question, then it's been answered.
Yeah. All right. Have you, do you have your MLS up? Because I would like to show them what we did.
I can get it up.
Okay. If you don't mind.
I don't mind. And I
Did
have
we,
it.
did we record that part of it?
I think we,
Lynn,
you know,
are you still there? She stepped away. Anyway, I'm
I
pretty.
don't remember seeing it. But I stopped after the adjustment process, so I might have missed that.
Well, we recorded it today, and
I think we did, but I'm not sure.
No, she hasn't uploaded it yet. Okay, let's don't wait. We only have a limited amount of time.
Right.
I would like to show them the process in which we went to get these comps. This is a small rural type community, population a little less than 6,000, and it's out. She's in Oklahoma City, and it's out a little bit.
Hour
And
and a half drive.
say again.
Hour and a half drive from where I'm at.
But she
Out just a little
graciously
bit.
took it. So,
Yes, absolutely.
all right. So let's go to your search criteria because I want folks to see this.
Okay.
I think we recorded that, but you guys can make the adjustments. We talked about that, and there's even another video on the adjustments as we walked it through. Okay.
Hey, where's that video on adjustments?
It's
Down
the
on my-
third one. The third one we uploaded the other day. It's
Is
the
it in
third
the chat?
one. Yes, loaded in chat. It's pinned at the top. Hang on. It says training, developing a BPO adjustment with Todd and Tina. That sounds like a radio show.
It does. I was about to say we're TNT, and you know what TNT is? Dynamite.
Easy, buddy. Easy, easy, easy.
I know we're gonna get carried away over here.
So on HUD properties, do they still have you inspect them every 2 weeks like they do with regular
We have to do them every 7 to 10 days.
every 7 to 10 days? So
Yep.
Tina, you're having to drive an hour and a half every 7 to 10 days.
Well, it's not active yet. Right now, we're still doing, I just completed the initial inspection on Saturday. Today, yesterday I took the day off. It was my first day off all week. And I didn't really take the day off, but I didn't work on HUD properties. That's what I mean by I took the day off. And then today I got started on the BPO and the tax bill and the O&E report, because that will be the BPO and tax bill. They're due tomorrow, Christmas Eve, and the O&E report is due Christmas Day.
Well, you might have it on that day. You don't get graded on the O&E.
That's good because
you do need to
title's
get it going.
closed. Title's closed now. Title company's closed tomorrow and Christmas Day. So
All
I'll
right.
have to come. I have to come up with my own report, I guess.
All right. Let's get going because we are limited
Yep.
on time. Let's start out looking just like we would in the beginning. You put
Okay.
property. Okay. It's rural, so we went out to a mile. Okay. And
So do you want me to explain what I'm doing here?
yes.
Okay, so I run it similarly to how I start my market analysis. And so over here, there's active, pending, sold. I go 90 days. I go within a mile of this exact address of the subject property. And then I typed in the year built. Well, I'm already at 0. So I start making adjustments. And what I usually do first is I'll adjust the distance and I'll go out further, there's still nothing at 3 miles. I'm at 5 miles,
Now, keep
still
in mind,
nothing.
hold up, let me interrupt just for a minute. This is what we would consider a rural property. It's a small community, 6,000. It's kind of out there a little bit. And there are other small rural towns around, but they're 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 miles away. They're not
Right.
in the urban area or even suburban area of Oklahoma City. So just so you know.
Right. And so I've gone out 5 miles already, and the only criteria I have are active, pending, sold up to 90 days, 5 miles from the subject. And then I have the year built from 1989 to 2009 because the year built for the subject property is 1999. I'm at 0. So at this point, what I would do is start adjusting the sold days. And when I have 0 like this and I'm already at 5 miles, I just automatically go to 180. And it's still not bringing anything. So I will clear the year built and it brings me 22. So I would go through those 22 properties because you need 3 active and 3 sold for your comps for the BPO. And 22 sounds like a lot of properties, but when you're looking at how they compare to the subject properties, they dwindle down very, very quickly. The square footage of the subject property is 2346. So what I would probably do is go here and put 1,000 square feet plus. So that way it would get rid of super small properties. It took me to 21 results. So then I start looking at those. And I also automatically look first thing with any results. I look for properties that are in the neighborhood. And on this one, there happened to be one that's active on that same street and one that's pending. So I want to make sure to include those, even though they're not exactly the same as the subject, they're on the same street. So you're not going to get a better comp than a house that's already on the same street.
True.
And in a neighborhood where
But
they're
now
not
let me throw a caveat in there though. Okay. But this is a rural community. Okay. So if I can go out to even 10 miles in this particular case and find a better comp, okay, I would rather do that because it's going to be in another small rural company community. And it would compare because these are little communities scattered around, here,
right.
there, and this, that, and the other. If it's a better comp with closer square footage, closer year built, and so on and so forth, even if I have to go out a little bit farther, I still want to grab that comp.
Right. And we did that. I'm just giving them the condensed version because of the time.
Yeah.
We earlier today, Todd and we searched through the MLS. We went 10 miles, 15 miles, all the miles really to find comps. And then we came back to looking at the ones that were in Holdenville and near the house because they ended up being a little bit better than the ones that were further out because the ones that were further out were on larger acreages. And when I say larger acreages, I mean, we're dealing with a typical city lot that's about a quarter of an acre. The comps that were further out were like 30 acres.
10, 12,
You
15.
know,
Yeah.
no, there was one that was 31 or 30
There was
acres.
one that's 75.
Yeah, there was one that's 75 acres. And of course you can adjust for that. But in the smaller community, we were just looking at it and like thinking because the homes on this street, they're not cookie cutter. None of the homes are the same, that it was okay to use houses that weren't an exact match because we're going to have to make adjustments anyways. So that said, here's one that we used. It's 304 Country Club because when I click on it, it's on the same street. It's literally like a quarter of a mile from the house. The main difference you'll see this on the BPO. I'll just pull it up so you can see. I'm gonna share the BPO screen too.
That
It's
was
thinking.
inactive, I believe.
Yeah, that was active. So I've got to scroll down to where I put on the second page, you'll put your competitive listings. So the active and 304 Country Club was my second comp. And you can see over here, 415 Country Club, that's the subject. There's so many similarities. The main differences are the design and appeal, because the subject looks more like a Mediterranean style one story, and the comp is more of a colonial style, but it's two-story. And the age, there's about 60 years difference in age. And this comp also has a pool and a pool house. So I will go through and show you some of the backyard. So here's the patio pool house, and the pool house has a bathroom and it looks like a bar area. And
Okay,
then here's the pool.
we can't see that.
You can't see that? Hold on. Let me switch back. Now can you see it?
There we go.
There's a pool.
That looks fun.
Yeah, it's a nice pool. And then here's the pool with the diving board. You can see the cabana back here. And then here's a close-up of that. And it has a bathroom and it looks like a bar area or counter. So switching back to the BPO.
I see a lot of liability there.
Yeah, there is, but
You got a
can you see
diving
the
board, you
BPO?
got your drinking area.
Yeah. Can you see the BPO?
Yes, I see that now.
Okay. So, and Todd, this is one of the questions I had for Todd. I made the adjustment maybe a little higher than I normally would because I was trying to get the comp value closer to where I know the values are for that area.
Well,
And
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, I
And
see you broke it up into two parts. You broke it up into the pool house and the pool. So,
yes,
on the pool, to replace that pool, what I was looking at, that's a concrete pool in ground. It would cost, today's dollars, it would cost 60 to $70,000 to have that pool replaced.
easily.
I would have, yeah, oh yeah, oh, are you kidding me? I've got a small pool and I know what it costs.
Yeah.
Much larger than mine. So, this right here, I would have at least 10,000 on it, at least
Okay.
10,000. And you got to know your area, okay?
Well, if it was in Norman, I probably would do it a little higher, but because it's rural and pools aren't, I didn't see really any other properties with pools. I only did 8,000 because it may not be as desirable in that area as it would be in some place like my neighborhood where every other house has a pool.
Right, no, I understand. Florida, they're
Um,
a dime a dozen, but
yeah. So, but no, I had originally had it 10 and then I started overthinking it like I do, you know.
mhm,
Um, and then for other, I have pool house and I did it at 15,000 because
it's a structure.
it's a structure and it has a bathroom. So just to build a bathroom, you would be hard pressed to build a bathroom for 15,000. So
Do you guys have like a cheat sheet for adjustments?
no, no, I just working with Todd over the first two and just kind of I reference back to those and then just using my best judgment. And no looking at the area and the houses, you know, making the adjustment based on that because it's not going to pull the full replacement value, but it will pull some of it. So I just use maybe, 20 to 25% of the replacement value.
Just out of curiosity, whenever you guys may not know this question, but when appraisers, whenever they do adjustments like this, do they also use their own best judgment, or do they have something they go off of?
I think that, well, they have to get, they have, what do they call it? The uniform, blah, 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 something rules that they have to go by. But I think when you're talking about adjustments, now, if you look up at the square footage, the living area, okay? The subject is 2346, then the comp one is 2800, 3000, 1800, whatever. All right. Now, as I said the last time, like over here, this one has 722. Okay. You can adjust for the two bedrooms going to try to match the subject's four bedrooms. Okay. Or you can adjust for the square footage. You cannot do both.
Okay.
Okay, that's what we call double dipping, and you can't. Now, in the same BPO though, if you like on the second one, let's say there was 2,800 square feet and it had two bedrooms. Just use that first comp, okay? Instead of the four bedrooms, let's just had two bedrooms. It was a 2-2 like the last one, okay? The difference in square footage is roughly 500 square feet, 450, whatever. And she adjusted it for 9,000. Well, if that first comp only had two bedrooms, I can make the adjustment on the bedrooms because I think each bedroom going from a 2 up to a 4, I think that adjustment probably is going to be 50 in this price range, 150 to 200. In this price range, I would probably comp those bedroom or those difference in two bedrooms as like 15, maybe even 20,000. But I can't do both. But if I
Right.
did this first, my point in this is on this first comp, if I made the adjustment on the bed bath count and left the GLA alone, it doesn't mean I have to do that all the way through. I can take the next comp and adjust for square footage. It's okay to do that if you
Okay.
deem necessary.
That was the question I had. You can bounce back and forth, but you just can't do both.
Correct.
Right. And on this one, you'll see, I'll try to zoom in without like losing the entire screen. On this last comp, you can see it's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,800 square feet. The subject is a 4-bed, 2.5-bath, 2,300 square feet. On the functional utility, this is a question I had for Todd, is I have it at fair instead of average because yes, you can probably remodel and make it a 3 or 4 bedroom, but it would, based on the interior photos I saw, it's going to require a lot of work to do that, a lot of remodeling to do that.
So the functional utility is fair, and that's a good that's perfect.
And so, and the others are average, but because the others are average and this is fair, it's below the average. So in making an adjustment for that, what would you think on that?
In this price point, in this particular case, we're right now, you've already come up with a value, good, 185. In this,
Yeah.
I'd probably 6,000 to 7,000, maybe 7,500 minus 7,500, or I'm sorry, add 7,500.
Okay. Okay. Yes, I went ahead and came up with the value because just looking at the existing active properties and pending properties, absorption rate, and where the numbers are falling for both the active and the sold, 185 seems reasonable and fair for the house. Do I think it's going to sell for that? I think it'll probably go in the 160s or 170s, but it could go in the 180s. It's just a more rural area, so it's going to be a smaller buyer pool, and so it's not going to have necessarily the competition that it might have if it was like in Oklahoma City or Edmond or Norman.
Yeah, you might even, let's go back to your sold comps. Just slide up there. I just want to see your adjusted values real quick.
Come on, it's thinking.
Think, 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 think. What is that? Pooh or something?
Yeah, I think so. Winnie the Pooh. Think,
That's
think,
what it is.
think.
The kids, my daughters wanted to poop. Anyway, who cares? Anyway,
I
okay.
loved Winnie the Pooh growing up. So the adjusted
Oh,
values,
girl, you got adjusted 143, 154. The 222, I'm gonna call an outlier. Nah,
yeah,
I'm thinking 165 maybe. That house needs a lot of work, a lot of updating.
yeah.
I think your price needs to be right around 165.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, the adjusted comps on, let's see, that's Adams. That's an acre. The only question I had on this one is the view, the difference between neighborhood and wooded.
Is there that big of a difference in that area? Really? Whether it's,
Yes, on this one there is because this really does look like a suburban neighborhood.
Mhm.
And that this one that's on an acre, the two that are on acreages, I looked at on the map and it's wooded.
In this
So
particular price point, I'd only subtract 2,500. The tendency, if in your mind, probably was a little higher, but like I said, this is REO, this is HUD, in this particular price point. Now, if this was a $500,000 home, I would adjust that number higher.
okay. My number in my mind was lower. It was closer to like 1,000 or 1,500, but that's just me.
Well,
Like
you and I have
that's
been talking a lot. Yeah.
yes. Well, I'm also thinking like just because it's a small town, they don't have, I mean, the ranges that I looked at were from like 13,000 to 235,000.
Right.
There's a big range, but their top range is 200,000. So I wasn't trying to make massive adjustments.
Okay.
So my thought process.
Okay. Hold up.
Yep.
Oh, go back up. Go back up. Oh, you did. You can conventional 5,000. Okay.
Yeah.
That
And
that
then,
other one was on the market 358 days. Wow. Okay.
yeah. Yep.
All right.
So maybe I do need to adjust it down a little bit. That was the other question I was going to ask you before I forget. And while they're on here, the average days on market is about 150 days
For that community.
for this community. Yes.
Okay.
So the active comps, I haven't adjusted for that yet. I was going to ask you, the days on market are 217, 122, and 149. Do you look at what the average days on market are and compare that? Or do you just say, well, it's over 90, make an adjustment? It doesn't matter what the average days on market is.
Well, what I want to see though is the history. This one that's currently on the market, active, 217 days. Have they made a price adjustment?
No,
And it's 217 days on the market
correct,
at 185,000. I
correct.
would deduct 20,000 on that.
Okay. I was doing 10, but I was like, I just don't know. So,
Do
and
y'all
then
understand that? On the active comparables, if it's been on the market for, 180 days, even 90 days, if it's been on the market for 90 days and they have not done any a price adjustment, you might wait to 120. If it's on the market for 120, definitely make some type of an adjustment because they don't have it priced properly. Not in this market at this time. Now, inventories are starting to increase in many markets, not all, but many markets. Days on market are starting to expand, and that's cool.
Mhm.
We're starting to get back in some markets to what we would call a normal market, 4 to 6 months on the market and sold. Okay, 4 to 5 anyway. But in this particular case, you got a lack of comps big time in this particular market. Even in the surrounding suburban markets, there's a lack of comparable comps. So you definitely needs a price adjustment, but you have to determine,
Mhm.
and that's your call. Okay.
Right,
But you're going to need to make some kind of adjustment because they didn't.
right.
You're the
So what if
professional. I'm a professional. So, yeah. And also it shows them that you know what the hell you're doing. Okay. When they see this, well, why did you? Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. So then the next comp, it's been 122 days and it's priced at 265, but it's the one that has the pool, the cabana.
Mm-hmm. Well,
So,
here's another rule. I say it's a rule.
mhm,
It's one of the things that we look at. That property right there, the 10% rule. Typically, ideally, you don't want to adjust your comps more than 10%. Okay.
okay, that's what I was
Now
thinking.
that's not set in stone. Okay.
Right.
When you get to the bottom for the positives and the negatives, and you get down to the bottom, the goal is a plus or minus 10% adjustments. Slide down.
Hey, Todd, just to note, you've got 15 minutes.
Yes, I just looked at that. Okay. We got 47,500 on that adjustment. We're not going to get rid of this comp because it's the only thing we can get that's anywhere close.
Yeah.
Okay. But that's a little bit over. They got
Mhm.
25,000 on that one. That's over the 10%, but not by a boatload. Same thing with the third comp, the 24,500. Like I said, you have what you have, and then you justify in your comments and
Yep.
notes. Okay.
Okay. So would you make an adjustment on the days on market on these
Those
that are,
these are solds.
no, these are actives.
That's 122. I'd subtract maybe 7,500. Same thing with the 150, the 149, whatever.
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah.
Okay. So then I probably will
Well,
adjust
now,
the
are you
price.
sure they haven't done a price adjustment?
I will double check, but I don't think any of them had. And I was like, all right then.
Okay.
Oh, no, it did. It was that one was 272. They price adjusted it to 265.
Which
So
one was
26,
that?
the colonial with a pool.
Okay, then if they made an adjustment, go ahead and take that out and zero it out.
Okay. And then let me look at the next one. Well, the other one is pending. So
Okay, pending, zeroed out.
yeah, so I'll zero those out. Okay. So then I had those two correct. Okay. Yay. That makes me feel better. There's a method to the madness, y'all. There really is. So then I will likely go ahead and adjust this down just because the 160, that does bring it down.
Remember, you get graded on this.
Yep, exactly. And I have an estimated $22,000 in repairs.
Well, I can tell you
So
that house needs a hell of a lot more than that, but that's okay. We'll roll with that.
so I
I have a quick question before you get too far away from what I think I just heard. So the third comp that you're using for your actives on the market is pending? Is that, did I hear?
Yes, we chose a pending because we didn't have anything else, because technically that's active.
yep.
But I would prefer straight active and straight sold, no pendings. Okay,
I just
but
BPO the other day. I put a pending in for an active.
Yeah. It's
well,
a good
if you have nothing else, you know, or it's the best fit, use it.
You're right. In this case, there wasn't much else. And
There's
it was
hardly
a
anything else.
yeah. And it's on the same street. So in this neighborhood, every single house looks different. So using houses that look different for comps for this one, I think I can justify it because of the way the neighborhood looks. It's not a cookie cutter neighborhood. And you're going to have to go 20 miles out and use properties that have large acreages if you want something that is going to be similar to what I'm already using. So it's
And if you go out that far, okay, that's really not a competitive
right.
market. You know what I mean?
I agree. So But I will adjust that price. I'll probably take it down. I'll look at it. Let me look at it because
That's
I
fine.
think
You
I
do,
was,
you do you. It's okay. You do you.
I will, but I have like, I look at it, but then I also look at actives and I try to get it like, where it needs to be. So maybe 160 is going to be a better 160, 165, like you said, is a better range. I'll look. And then on the comments, I said, this home appears to have strong bones and is in fair condition, although it needs work to be done to the interior. It could be well suited for an owner occupant who is willing to do the work, although that requires additional expenses. The rural location will limit the buyer pool to those currently in the area or wanting to move to the area. The home has some unique architectural features, desirable floor plan, and flex spaces that could make the home more appealing to buyers. I will market it with an emphasis on owner occupant, although I will make sure my investors are aware of it as well. The comps were pulled from Holdenville with the closest and most similar to the subject property that were available.
Is the marketing commentary necessary in the BPO?
I always add it. Yep.
There's been a line in every single BPO I've done where they have marketing. I have a copy and paste thing I just throw in there.
I mean, I get
Be
it,
careful
and
with
I've
the
had it
canned
in
comments.
before. It's
What'd you
just one of
say?
those that, on an opinion of value. I mean, you can tell them how you're going to market it, but it is what it is.
Right.
But it's letting them know I know what it is and I want them to know what it is, because if I'm in Norman, Oklahoma, I'm used to the local market. If they're where's our asset manager located? Like in Chicago or something, they're probably not as familiar with the Oklahoma market. So this is just giving them more information.
You got to remember, they see pictures and they get the reports. They've never seen this property and probably never will. But I will warn you, occasionally, once, sometimes twice a year, actual HUD employees will come out and inspect your listings. Just FYI. Is the for sale sign up? Is everything reported? It's there, that type of thing. They're looking for specific things and to make sure you reported it. And if you reported it, you got to remember, they're not just grading you, they're also grading field services while they're there. So if you reported it, you're good. Okay. Then it's up to the asset manager and field services to figure out if something's going to be done about it. You see why
And I report,
by reporting it.
yep. And I report everything. Ask Todd.
He does. Okay,
So-
we've got a little bit more time left. Let's and let's go up to the middle here, where the repairs are.
Hold on. It's thinking again. Right here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So your marketing strategy, it's always as is. You know that. That's HUD. They're not going
Yep.
to do anything for it. It's not occupied. It's vacant.
Oh, I picked the wrong one. Sorry. I know it's vacant. I just hit the wrong button.
Okay. So she did her estimation. How many square feet was the house? 2,300 and some odd?
2346, so about 2,400.
Okay, update full bath. Okay, yeah, faucet missing. Repair fence, repair varnish, yeah, that looks about right. And don't go to the penny. Don't break out if you are used to using Xactimate and plug in these repairs and do it to the damn penny. If you're one of those people, stop it. Okay. They don't want it to the penny, just a good general idea, that type of thing. On one of
Do you
our
want to show them
things,
the top of
we
it?
use Blue Hammer and anyway. Okay, continue.
Well, do you want to show them the top of it where we fill out about
Yes.
the range and,
Mhm.
okay, it's, there we go. So on this, you fill in the information at the top. You have the REO number, which is the case number. It's the initial BPO, the property address, it's EXP. I put my phone number, it's HUD, and my name. The current market condition, I said, is stable. Employment conditions are stable because it's relative to Holdenville, not, everything, not every city. The market price is for this type of property has decreased about 2 to 3% in the last 6 months. It's about a 70% owner occupant. And there were 2 other comparable units in that neighborhood that were currently for sale. There's no competing REO or corporate owned properties, and there were no boarded up or blocked up homes in that neighborhood.
We've got 4 minutes.
And the range in values for this neighborhood are 13,000 to 275,000. Normal marketing time is about 150 days. And it does not qualify for all types of financing. It will not qualify for VA or USDA because it's as is, the seller's not going to make any repairs.
And the
What
rest is
question?
pretty self-explanatory.
It's what we already went through. It's
Mhm.
basically the comps. So,
All right, we only got a few minutes left. Do you have any questions so far? This is a real BPO. She's going to submit this here in just a little bit.
yep.
I've been doing the BPOs on Pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
I got really frustrated earlier. I was doing one, and the freaking system shut down, and I hadn't
Oh,
saved it, and so I had to
oh, geez.
start all the way over. I punched the wall. I was so mad. So this looks promising. That HUD is going to do it this way. Where it's manually on the computer. Because I don't like doing it on the system.
Well, and
I
you know, you use their form, you pull it right off the forms inside the system. Okay. You just pull it up, boom, there it is, and it auto adjusts for you as you enter your numbers and stuff like that. So, it's a good deal.
Yeah, I thought this was going to be difficult to use, but it really hasn't. So,
It doesn't look difficult.
it's not. So,
Oh, your adjusted now is 141. Is that sold comps?
these are the sold. Yep, these are the
Okay.
sold comps,
All
and
right.
it's because the view is wooded, so we took 2,500 off the subject property because it's
That's fine.
so yeah. I will go in and adjust it just because really the comps that are closest are going to be 140 to 160s. And I know I said I thought it's going to sell probably in the 160s or 170s, but the price needs to be adjusted because I think 185 is going to be a high start value for that.
I agree.
Yeah. So
On your
I'll
30,
make that adjustment.
when you get to your as is 90 to 120 day, all right, when you arrive on your value, your 30-day quick value is going to be 10 to 15% of that.
Right. That's what I did. I have it. It's 10% of the as is value. So, okay. Well, I'll
All
make that
right.
adjustment and then get it submitted.
Yes, ma'am. I'll stay on. Let's let anybody else wants to ask some questions or anything. No? Okay.
Do you want to look at the HUD data sheet?
Well, I don't, anybody that wants to stay, you're more than welcome to stay. That's okay. But it's 8 o'clock, and if you need to bounce, go ahead and bounce.
How do I go ahead and start getting properties through you guys?
Hang tight. We're working on it, man. Just sit tight.
No worries.
They're going to text you at Saturday, 10 a.m. ask how everything is going, and then they're going to promptly call you and say, hey, I have a property.
Yeah.
It's not far from you. And then when you Google it, it's going to show it's an hour and a half away. And you're going to be like, I'll take it.
Yeah, right.
Because you're a team player. I am. I took it. But
Well,
so
and another thing you'll do, you'll learn as you go through this. These asset managers, if they need help, I've had them email blast to brokers in the area. Hey, I've got a property such and such. Do you know anybody in that area? In other words, they're looking to bring on somebody else that they don't already have. Okay, that's why you take it, as you don't want any more competition in your area, even if it's 30 or 40 miles, 50 miles away. It's because you're in a more rural type situation. All right.
yeah.
I took one that was 89 miles from our Champaign office. Did I want to take it? Hell no. All right. But I did because I don't want to bring in another broker into that area, because at the 40 to 45 mile range, I'll cover that because I'm between two major cities, and it's running back, and I'm having to do inspections. So it's like a big round robin. So I'll do that all day long. But that 89 mile, no, I didn't want it. But I don't want to bring anybody else in there.
Well, I mean, you also got to look at it like if you do a favor for these asset managers, they'll do favors for you.
Yeah.
That's what my thought process is, building the relationship and like showing them I'm here to help. I'm here to be of service. Did I want to take it? No. Did I take it? Yes. Did I complain about it? Hell no. I went out, I did it, got it
She
done as
grumbled.
fast
She
as
grumbled.
I could.
She did
Hell
grumble a
no.
little tiny bit to me, but
I teased Todd about it because he texted me at 10 a.m. on a Saturday, hey, are you busy? And I'm like, oh shit, I know what this means.
that was
Am I busy?
the first text.
I knew what it was. I'm like, why is he texting me on a Saturday asking me if I'm busy? Like, I know what this is already about. Let's go. But I had questions on the HUD data sheet. If they want to see this, I'm okay going through it with them because I've got it filled in. It's really more just verifying that I did it correctly.
Okay, let's get over there because it's getting on, and if people that still
Yeah.
want to hang out,
See you later.
take care.
Yep. Y'all have fun. Thanks, guys.
All right, bye.
So the summary, the case number and the address are automatically in there. The address is
We
correct.
can't see it. You're not showing that.
It needs to just follow with me. Keep up. Keep up. Okay. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Do you all know what I clicked on? Let me show you. So here it has my task. It has the BPO, which that's what we were doing. The BPO photo addendum, which that's where the photos were. I'm on the HUD data sheet, and you just click on it. The summary, it has the case number, the address. I said the address is correct because it is. And then I completed saying it's a single family property, the parcel ID, which I get from tax information. I have the tax status as due and payable because the only taxes due on this one are the 2024 taxes. And I have the amount, and because they're not past due, there's no interest or penalty. And there's no HOA.
So show that tab if you would. Is there a property HOA? No. Which I
No.
think it defaults to no. And if
Yeah.
in larger cities, you're going to have, sometimes you have the master HOA, they're going to sub HOA. It can get interesting sometimes.
Yep. But this one was pretty easy. So
Yeah, you're good. You said you
So
had,
this, I hit complete. I'm going to submit it and see now it's gone from my task. It's not here anymore. But if I go to pending approval, you can see that it's over here now because I've submitted it. So,
cool.
and next I'm submit the BPO and the BPO photo addendum here in about 15 minutes. So, or less, as soon as I get off here.